Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Wentworth quickfire video. I hope you're all doing really well out there today, guys. Now, in this video, I'm going to be answering some quickfire questions on Wentworth Season 6. So, settle down, get comfy, and let's jump straight in. My favourite character from Season 6 is Rita Connors. Now, I know there will be a question after this one on my favourite new character. However, I do have another character up my sleeve for that question. So, Rita, oh my word, she was just this character that we never knew that we needed. She definitely came into the show at the right time, in my opinion. Now, I know CRAIGz does begin to get a little bit more tougher in this season, but we really needed that proper tough character who could really fight and look after herself. Apart from that, I just love Rita as a whole. I love Leah Purcell, who plays Rita, and I just think if you ever ended up in prison and you needed a friend, Rita is your woman. Okay, so because I picked Rita in the previous question, I am actually going to pick Dragovich for this one. Now, that may shock some people, but I don't know, there was just something so fascinating about Drago. I just loved her as a character. Now, she did come into the series as Mari Winter's Heavy, a Heavy who was clearly in love with Mari and would pretty much do anything for her. And I just think it's like, it is such a shame that Drago was killed off in, the season finale. I would have loved to have seen more from Drago, maybe even see, Drago's loyalties move from Mari and maybe over to the H1 girls. I think it would have been brilliant having Drago part of, CRAIGz's crew. Let me know in the comments box below who here loves Drago. My favourite storyline was wondering, is Joan Ferguson still buried in that box? Did she die? Did she manage to claw her way out? This story writers really teased us for most of Season 6 until that very famous moment, when, Vera, Jake and Will, they went back and they checked the box, and I think it's a very haunting moment. It actually does creep me out. It's a bit like a horror film. I wasn't really a fan of the whole stalking storyline aspect, but I did love the anticipation of wondering, just trying to guess whether or not if Joan Ferguson was alive or dead. I thought it was fantastic. My favourite Season 6 episode is definitely Episode 7, The Edge. Now, this episode was jam-packed full of storylines, mainly with Sonia Stevens. This is her last episode, and we had the whole showdown on the roof, which I just absolutely love. I think it's like a proper classic Wentworth moment. And I can remember, when I was first watching this episode and then the credits started rolling, I remember just sitting there and thinking to myself, God, I flippin' love Wentworth. My favourite particular moment from Season 6 is definitely Welcome to Country. The moment where Rita wiped the floor with Costa and her crew in the dining room. It was the first time where we got to see just how much of a fantastic fighter that Rita is. It's definitely a brilliant classic Wentworth moment. I could watch the scene over and over again, and indeed, I have done that before now. I mean, Rita, she fights like the Terminator in this scene. Okay, I don't think this was meant to be a funny scene in Wentworth, but me and Peter, we always burst out laughing every single time we watch it. It's the moment where Sonia and Liz, they're doing the interview for this radio station, and it's where Sonia ends up outing Liz as witness X in front of the whole prison, which of course, that part is awful. But then Liz is asked a question. Now, I can't remember word for word what the question was, but it was along the lines of, what did Liz like about Detective Kaplan? And Liz, she ends up replying, saying he had a perfect cock. Just before Vera stops the interview. Honestly, It makes me and Peter laugh out loud every single time. I remember when I first saw it, I had to rewind it and like re-listen to it. Did she really just say that? And it's not just like what she says, it's also like Sonia's reaction. She's like, I don't think like Sonia was expecting Liz to say that, and nor were we. So yeah, this is definitely the funniest moment of season 6 for me. Well, I think the saddest yet happy-ish, moment has to be when Frankie left the prison and she came back to the prison to say her goodbyes, and then they played that beautiful song called We Grow by Elmo. And guess what? This is the very song that me and Peter chose to walk down the aisle to for our wedding recently. So this song holds a lot of beautiful, precious memories for both me and Peter, and this is definitely another reason why Frankie's exit from the show will always make us cry. The season 6 standout performance for me is definitely Liz Birdsworth. Liz is diagnosed with early onset dementia, and it's absolutely heartbreaking to watch and see it unfold and see Liz get worse as the season goes on, but there are some incredible moments from Liz, like the scene where she breaks down in the shower block and she starts pulling her hair out. How disturbing is that? Also the moment where Liz goes to take her own life. I mean, they really put Celia Island through an emotional acting journey in this season. So, hands down, Liz definitely wins this one. My least favourite season 6 character has to be dun dun dun, Costa. Now, I don't know what it is, I just didn't warm to Costa in season 6. I mean, she does end up growing on me a little bit better in season 7, but season 6, she just does my head in. I think because we lost so many characters from season 5, there were maybe just, 1 or 2 new characters that came into season 6 that I just could not connect to, and Costa was definitely one of them. I just felt that she was just basically a Tina Mercado replacement that we didn't need. I would have preferred Tina and her crew to still be around going forward, and maybe Costa could have still arrived in season 6 and just joined up with their crew. I just don't understand why the complete switch from Tina to Costa. It just didn't work for me. I think the most shocking moment for me is the fight scene between, Rita and Drago, and also the death scene of Drago. We all knew that there was going to be a big showdown between Rita and Drago in the final episode. There were loads of photos released when we were waiting for that final episode, but I was not expecting the fight to be so brutal. There's a moment where Rita literally bends and breaks Drago's arm, and then Drago, she lets out this horrifying scream, but neither of them will back down. Drago is willing to fight to the death, even doesn't matter how many arms and legs get broken, and that's inevitably what does end up happening. Drago dies, and for me, it's so shocking, it's bloody, and it's brutal. Okay, well, I previously mentioned that I was gutted that Drago was killed off. However, for this question, I am going to change Rita's background of being an undercover cop. I was never a fan of Rita being a cop doing a job on Mari Winter. I think it was all done for shock value, but it was unnecessary. I think when the writers revealed the moment of Rita being a copper, they limited to what they could do with Rita. We all saw what happened to Rita in the very final season of Wentworth when the women found out about her being a cop, and it wasn't pretty. They all literally jumped on her. Now, as much as I would have loved for Rita to become top dog, realistically, guys, it never would have happened. Rita would have been killed, We were always waiting for the secret to come out, and yeah, I don't know. I love Rita, love her as a character, but I would totally go back if I had the opportunity and change the backstory of her being a cop and change it to something else. But, it is what it is, but you know, that's what I would change. Okay then guys, well that's the end of the Season 6 quickfire questions. Let me know in the comments box below what you thought of this video, and also if you agree with me on any points. Also, are there any extra questions that you would like me to include in Season 7? Don't get me wrong guys, Season 7 is a massive season, so if you have any questions you'd like to see me answer, let me know in the comments box below and I will see if I can include them in the next video. Okay then guys, thank you all for watching today's video. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, stay safe out there, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.